Greetings, guitar engineers. I'm Desi Cerna, and in this video I want to demonstrate how you may be hearing and playing the song Take It Easy by the Eagles incorrectly. I'm talking about the intro and where you hear that first chord coming in. Most people assume that that chord comes in on beat 1 of measure 1, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. What? If you didn't notice, when the drums came in, the drums were turned around on the beat. In other words, the kick drum that you would expect on beat 1, 1, 2, the snare on beat 2 were coming in on the ands. Something wasn't right there. Well, here's another track, and this track actually has a count in. Listen to this. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, now everything lines up correctly. So it turns out that that first chord is actually not played on beat 1 of the first measure. It comes in as a pickup note on the and of 4 in a pickup measure. Now before we go any farther, the chords here are G like this, then a C slash G, and then a D7 sus4 slash G. Basically what you're doing is playing G, C, and D7, but you're going to hold a G in the bass position, and it's going to hold a G note in the top position as well. And so you get G, C slash G, D7 sus4 slash G. All right, so now I'm going to play with the track here. This gives us a count in. It's a 2-bar count in, and notice that that first chord actually comes in on the and of 4, like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 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 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. So, were you hearing this song correctly? Have you been playing it correctly? When you don't have a count off, it's hard to hear that that very first chord is actually on the and of 4 because we just assume it's on the and of 1. Here's a track again that doesn't have a count off, and it's really easy to just take that first note and feel it as 1. I'm working with some backing tracks here. I'm trying to stay away from the original recording to keep the copyright police off my back. But let's take a look at some live footage and let's see how the Eagles actually played it. 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so you could clearly hear him count it off, and you could hear him come in on the and of 4. Now, he was actually kind of counting in like halftime. Instead of counting 1, 2, 3, 4, he went 1, 2, 3, 4, but they still came in on the and of 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's watch that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And 1, 2, 3. In fact, you can clearly see Glenn Fry here start with an upstroke. And he's doing that because he's playing the main strum pattern here. He doesn't want to be turned around on the beat, so he wants to make sure he's starting on the and of 4 with an upstroke so that he comes down on beat 1 with a downstroke. Watch him at the beginning. Watch his right hand. 1, 2, 3, 4. Up. Up. So again, that's 1, 2, 3, 4. Up. 2, 3, 4. Up. 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 Let's watch this again, but this time let's pay attention to Joe Walsh, who's got his back turned to us right now, and we'll get a front shot of him here in a second. And it appears that he's using upstrokes as well. Watch him. Up. Now, Walsh is not doing the full pattern. He's just going. In which case, he probably could have played that with a downstroke so long as it was rhythmically in the right spot, because he wasn't needing to do a consistent strum pattern. But he still chose to use upstrokes because he's still feeling that on the upbeat, because that's where the chords actually land. All right, well, let's take a look at how some music publishers notate this. Here's Take It Easy at ultimateguitar.com. I'm in the paid version looking at the official tabs, and you can see that, yes, they have that G chord coming in on the and of 4 at the end of this pickup measure, and then there's the downbeat of the first measure. Let's listen to it. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 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 1, 2, 3, 4. And this would be a great way to learn it, and you've got the click track there to help you come in at the right time. Here's Take It Easy at Sheet Music Direct, and notice that, yes, they have this correct. There is the and of 4. That would be a pickup measure. There's an 8th note, and then boom, there's your downbeat right there. And that C/G comes in on the upbeat, the and of 4. There's your downbeat of the next measure, and so on. Upbeat, downbeat, upbeat, downbeat, all until the drums come in, and then when the drums come in, you're starting on the downbeat. This is Take It Easy in the My Songbook catalog that's available in the notation program Guitar Pro. Now, normally the tabs available here are quite accurate, but this one looks like they made a mistake. They've got the G coming in on the downbeat. Let's hear what this sounds like. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, What? Oh my gosh, look at this. We're in 4/4 time here, if you can see that. So that's going to be 4/4 notes per measure, or 8/8 notes, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. But when they get to that last measure here, they switch the time signature to 9/8. So now there's 9/8 notes in a measure. So this is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and an extra eighth note, and then they go to the next beat. So here's a case where they realized that by starting on the downbeat here, when they got to the end of this measure, it didn't line up with the drums and the rest of the instrumentation. Everything got turned around. They needed to insert an extra eighth note in order to get the guitar chords to land with the drums here on the downbeat. So they literally had to fudge the numbers here by putting in a 9/8 key signature to correct this problem, but they didn't realize that this is not where the eighth note should go. The eighth note should go back here as a pickup note before this measure, and this G note actually comes in an eighth note before. All of these chords should come in an eighth note before. So this whole section needs to be shifted back an eighth note. They come in on the upbeat, then this eighth note here is not needed. This can be a regular measure of 4/4, and everything will fall correctly on beat 1 here when the drums come in. Now, another way you'll see this played is that musicians will start on the downbeat and they'll put those chord changes on the downbeat, and then they will just continue with the downbeat when the drums come in. That seems to make most sense. Well, that won't work with the recording because that's not the way that the Eagles recorded this song, so you're going to be an eighth note off. But if you're just playing this in a band, and if everyone agrees that we're starting on the downbeat and we're going to continue on the downbeat when the drums come in, then that won't be a problem. So here's an example of a track that I used to play along with when I used to do singing acoustic gigs. And this one was actually programmed that way, like this. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, that won't work with the recording because that's not how the recording was recorded. You'll be an eighth note off. But you could play it that way so long as everybody in the band understands that's how you're playing it. But technically, the way the song was recorded and the way the Eagles play it live is those chords come in on the and of 4 like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. All right, so how have you been playing Take It Easy? Did you hear it incorrectly? Have you been playing it incorrectly? Or did you know that they came in on the and of 4 and have you been doing it right all along? Let me know in the comments below. And as you play this song with others, you really ought to be familiar with playing it both ways because you never quite know what a band is going to do. Some people are hearing those first chords on the downbeat. Some people realize they're on the upbeat. You might have a chart that has it notated correctly. You might have a chart that has added an extra measure of 9/8 or something crazy like that. Ultimately, when you go to play this with others, the correct way to play it is just make sure that you guys are doing the same thing and you're together. And if that means that people are hearing that first chord on the downbeat, well, then you better follow. Although I'm not a fan of introducing that extra eighth note and having a measure of 9/8. I don't think I would ever play it like that. You're turning the beat around. That's very confusing to me. So personally, I'm either going to play it right and come in on the end of 4, or if we're going to come in on beat 1, then I'm not adding that extra eighth note. We're just going to continue with 4/4 measures when the drums come in. Anyway, hopefully you found this lesson interesting. Maybe it's just the sort of thing you need to be working on right now. Or maybe your guitar playing needs attention in other areas. If you need help determining what you should specifically be working on right now in order to fill gaps in your playing and move forward and reach your music goals, go to my website, guitarmusictheory.com. Answer the question I ask you about your playing, and I'll send you free custom video instruction calibrated to your current level. Whether you're a beginner that still needs to learn the basics, or you need help with bar chords, finger picking, playing guitar solos, or you want to delve deeply into music theory, I have a free course for you. I'll put you on a plan to fill gaps in your playing, fill gaps in your knowledge so that you can be a better player, enjoy playing guitar more, move forward, and reach your music goals. Enroll in your free video course now at guitarmusictheory.com. All right, well, thanks for watching. I'm Desi Cerna, and you're a guitar engineer.